Wednesday, during primetime hours in June, we're going to look at how some films during the years have stereotyped gays and used, and in many instances, abused the image of gays. It's a series we're calling Screened Out: Gay Images in Film, based on this very interesting book called Screened Out: Playing Gay in Hollywood from Edison to Stonewall by Richard Barrios. And Richard not only helped select the films we're going to be showing, he's also going to be here to give us some insights into these films. Why is this series important? Why should we have this series?
It mainly has to do with the fact that not a lot of people are always aware of how long there have been and how many images there have been of gay and lesbian characters through the whole history of movies. I think a lot of people think that movies only maybe really started dealing with it at all possibly in the 60s or 70s, you know, movies like The Killing of Sister George, and then later you get on to Making Love or Victor Victoria even, you know, to today.
For MGM at that time called Blue Moon, but it wasn't called Blue Moon for quite a long time because it kept changing. First it was in Hollywood Party, then taken out of that. Then it was used in a Clark Gable movie, Manhattan Melodrama, all under different words. Blue Moon is a good example. They aren't about falling in love, they're about being in love unhappily. And that was probably as close as he could come to being honest either with himself or with the public. The Pirate, of course, was intended as a spoof of all the swashbuckling films. Minnelli and Kelly worked very closely together, and they came up with two sort of models. One was Douglas Fairbanks, the great swashbuckler, and also John Barrymore. In the 1930s, Cole Porter had been really riding high in Broadway with shows like Anything Goes and To Barry Was a Lady. They were huge, huge hits. And as he entered the 1940s, his work was starting to show an artistic decline. For the first time since his very early years, actual flops on Broadway. He was really in need of kind of a renaissance, and it was Arthur Freed who called Porter. It was Freed's intention that this film was going to be sort of a comeback for him.
If I'm talking film musicals, there's really only one person I want to have sitting to my right, and that's Richard Barrios. So, some fabulous books, Song in the Dark, which is the best history of the early days of the Hollywood musical, Screened Out, Playing Gay on Film from Edison to Stonewall, the complicated history of gay portrayals in film, and most recently, a fantastic book, which I very much enjoyed this summer by the swimming pool, and I laughed every page, Dangerous Rhythm: Why Movie Musicals Matter.
The subtitle of my book is Why Movie Musicals Matter. And, you know, originally I had wanted to have that subtitle be When Movie Musicals Matter, because the truth of the matter is that sometimes they don't matter. And I've had to sort of go through and find why they matter, when they do and when they don't, and what causes them to resonate with us and what causes them to alienate us. And as many of you I'm sure are aware, movie musicals kind of go in and out of fashion probably more than any other kind of movie. But it did seem for me quite important to stress the reverberation of the musical's history, because the thing about musicals is that they very seldom add anything new to the mix, but the musicals that matter to us and to culture and to humankind are the ones that do take their history into consideration. My program that I've been doing for about five years now, something like that, of musical clips. Originally it was just called A Song in the Dark. I will first give you the rundown for the first part of the show, the early musicals part, and then at intermission I will be back to give you the rundown for the second. Now, one of the great musical hits of that boom year of 1929 was also one of the early RKO radio films, and a big hit adaptation of a Broadway show, Rio Rita. And as some of you probably know, the film of Rio Rita as we now see it is not what audiences saw back in 1929. It's been cut significantly. And the good thing is that some of the cut footage actually does remain.